Hello, Shalom. Welcome to day 79 of Daily Bread. We'll be in Exodus 40, finishes it up, 2 Samuel chapter 9, Psalms 82, Proverbs 17, and Luke 22. So we'll be reading from the Scriptures, 2009 version. Exodus 40 is found on page 102. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, On the first day of the new moon, you are to raise up the dwelling place of the tent of appointment, and shall put it in the ark of the witness, and screen the ark with the veil. And you shall bring in the table, and arrange what belongs on it, and bring in the lampstand and its lamps. And you shall set the slaughter place of gold for the incense before the ark of the witness, and put up the covering of the door of the dwelling place. And you shall set the slaughter place of the ascending offering before the door of the dwelling place of the tent of appointment, and shall set the basin between the tent of appointment and the slaughter place, and shall put water therein. And you shall set up the courtyard all around, and shall place the covering on all the courtyard gate. And shall take the anointing oil, and anoint the dwelling place, and all that is in it, and shall set it and all its utensils apart. And it shall be set apart. And you shall anoint the slaughter place of the ascending offering and all its utensils, and set the slaughter place apart. And the slaughter place shall be most set apart. And you shall anoint the basin and its stand, and set it apart. And you shall bring Aaron and his sons to the door of the tent of appointment, and wash them with water. And you shall put the set apart garments on Aaron, and anoint him, and set him apart to serve as priest to me. And you shall bring his sons, and put long shirts on them, and shall anoint them, as you anointed their father. And they shall serve as priests to me, and their anointing shall be for them for an everlasting priesthood throughout their generations. And Moshe did according to all that Yahweh had commanded him, so he did. And it came to be in the first new moon of the second year, on the first day of the new moon, that the dwelling place was raised up. And Moshe raised up the dwelling place, and placed its sockets, and set up its boards, and put up its bars, and raised up the columns, spread the tent over the dwelling place, and put the covering of the tent on top of it, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he took the witness and put it into the ark, and he put the poles through the rings of the ark, put the rings through the ark, put the lid of atonement on top of the ark, and brought the ark into the dwelling place, and placed the veil of the covering to screen off the ark of the witness, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he put the table in the tent of appointment on the north side of the dwelling place, outside the veil, and set the bread in order upon it before Yahweh, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he put the lampstand in the tent of appointment opposite the table on the south side of the dwelling place, and lit the lamps before Yahweh, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he put the gold slaughter place in the tent of appointment in front of the veil, and burned sweet incense on it, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And as he set up the covering to the door of the dwelling place, he put the slaughter place of the sending offering before the door of the dwelling place of the tent of appointment, and offered upon it the ascending offering and grain offering as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And as he put the basin between the tent of appointment and the slaughter place, and put water therein for washing, and Moshe and Aaron and his sons washed their hands and their feet with water from it. And as they went into the tent of appointment, as they came near the slaughter place, they would wash as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And as he raised up the courtyard all around the dwelling place and the slaughter place, and placed the covering of the courtyard gate, and Moshe completed the work. And the cloud covered the tent of appointment, and the esteem of Yahweh filled the dwelling place. And Moshe was not able to come into the tent of appointment because the cloud dwelt there, and the esteem of Yahweh filled the dwelling place. And when the cloud was taken up from above the dwelling place, the children of Israel went onward in all their journeys. But if the cloud was not taken up, then they did not set out till the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of Yahweh was on the dwelling place by day, and fire was on it by night, before all the eyes of the house of Israel in all their journeys. 2 Samuel chapter 9, on page 324. And David said, Is there still anyone who is left in the house of Saul, that I might show him loving commitment because of Jonathan? And the house of Saul had a servant, whose name was Tesiba, and they had called him to David. And the sovereign said to him, Are you Tesiba? And he said, Your servant. And the sovereign said, Is there not still someone in the house of Saul, so that I show him the loving commitment of Elohim? And Tesiba said to the sovereign, There is still the son of Jonathan, lame in his feet. So the sovereign said to him, Where is he? And Tesiba said to the sovereign, See, he is in the house of Machir, son of Amiah, in Lo-Debar. And sovereign David sent and brought him to the house, brought him out of the house of Machir, son of Amiah, from Debar. And Mephibosheth, son of Jonathan, son of Saul, came to David, and fell on his face and did obedience. And David said, Mephibosheth, and he answered, Here is your servant. David then said to him, Do not fear, for I shall certainly show you loving commitment because of Jonathan your father, and shall return you to all the land of Saul your grandfather, and let you eat bread at my table continually. And he bowed himself and said, What is your servant that you should turn to such a dead dog as I? And the sovereign called Sheba, servant of Saul, and said to him, I have given to your master's son all that belonged to Saul and all to his house. And you and your sons and your servants shall work the land for him, and shall bring in its yield, and your master's son shall have food to eat. But let Mephibosheth, your master's son, eat bread at my table always. And Sheba had 15 sons and 20 servants. And Sheba said to the sovereign, According to all that my master the sovereign has commanded his servant, so your servant does. As for Mephibosheth, said the sovereign, he shall eat at my table as one of the sons of the sovereign. And Mephibosheth had a young son, whose name was Micah, and all who dwelt in the house of Sheba were servants to Mephibosheth. And Mahesha was dwelling in Jerusalem, for he ate continually at the sovereign's table, and he was lame in both his feet. Apologies for butchering the name. Moving on to Psalms 82. Elohim sat in the congregation of El. He judges in the midst of the Elohim. How long would you judge perversely and show partiality to the wrong? Salah. Give right ruling to the poor and fatherless. Do right to the afflicted and needy. Rescue the poor and needy. Deliver them from the hand of the wrong. They do not know, nor do they understand. They walk about in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are shaken. I said, you are Elohim, and all you sons of the Most High, and all of you are sons of the Most High. But as men you die, and fall as one of the heads. Arise, O Elohim, judge the earth, for you shall possess all the nations. Moving on to Proverbs 17, found on page 744. Better is a dry piece of bread, and rest with it, than a house filled with slaughters of strife. A wise servant rules over a son who causes shame, and shares an inheritance among the brothers. A refining pot is for silver, and a furnace for gold, but Yahweh tries the hearts. An evildoer gives heed to wicked lips. A liar gives ear to a tongue of desire. He who mocks the poor reproaches his maker. He who rejoices at calamity does not go unpunished. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the adornment of children is their fathers. Excellent speech is not fitting for a fool, much less lying lips for a noble. A bribe is a stone of favor in the eyes of its owner. Wherever he turns, he prospers. He who covers a transgression seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates intimate friends. Reproof enters deeper into a wise man than 100 strikes of a fool on a fool. An evil one seeks only rebellion, so a cruel messenger is sent against him. Let a bereaved bear meet a man, rather than a fool in his folly. Whoever rewards evil for good, evil does not leave his house. The beginning of strife is like releasing water. Therefore stop fighting before it breaks out. He who declares the wrong right, and he who condemns the righteous, both of them are an abomination to Yahweh. Why is this a price in the hand of a fool to buy wisdom when there is no heart? A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. A man lacking heart shakes hands in a pledge. He becomes a guarantor for his friend. He who loves transgression loves strife. He who exalts his door seeks destruction. He who has a crooked heart finds no good. And he who has a perverse tongue falls into evil. He who brings forth a fool has sorrow for it, and the father of a fool has no joy. A rejoicing heart causes good healing, but a stricken spirit dries the bones. One who is wrong accepts a bribe behind the back to pervert the paths of right ruling. Wisdom is before the face of the understanding one, but the eyes of the fool are on the ends of the earth. A foolish son is a grief to his father, and bitterness to her who bore him. It is also not good to punish the righteous one, to strike noble ones for straightness. He who has knowledge spares his words, and a man of understanding is cool of spirit. Even a fool keeping silence is regarded as wise, as understanding when he closes his lips. On to Luke 22, page 1014. And the festival of matzah, unleavened bread, Passover, which is called Pesach, and the priests and the scribes were seeking how to kill him, Yeshua, for they feared the people. And Satan entered into Judea, who was called man from Kirath, who was numbered among the 12. Talk about Judas. And he went and spoke with the chief priests and captains, how he might deliver him up to them. And they were glad and agreed to give him silver. And he promised, and he was seeking an occasion to deliver him up to them away from the crowd. And the day of unleavened bread came when the Pesach had been slaughtered. And he sent Peter, Kepha, and John, saying, Go and prepare the Pesach for us to eat. And they said to him, Where do you wish us to prepare? And he said to them, See, as you enter into the city, a man shall meet you carrying a jar of water. Follow him into the house as he enters. And you shall say to the master of the house, The teacher says to you, Where is the guest room where I might eat the Pesach with my taught ones? And he shall show you a large furnished upper room, prepare it there. And going, they found it, and he said to them, and as he had said to them, and they prepared the Pesach. And when the hour had come, he sat down, and the 12 emissaries with him. And he said to them, With desire I have desired to eat this Pesach with you before my suffering. For I say to you, I shall certainly not eat of it again until it is filled in the reign of Elohim. And taking the cup, giving thanks, he said, Take this and divide it among yourselves. For I say to you, I shall certainly not drink of the fruit of the vine until the reign of Elohim comes. And taking the bread, giving thanks, he broke it and gave it to them, saying, This is my body, which is given to you for you. Do this in remembrance of me. Likewise, the cup also, after supper, saying, This cup is a renewed covenant in my blood, which is shed for you. But see, the hand of him delivering me up is with me on the table. For indeed the son of Adam goes as it has been decreed. But woe to the man by whom he is delivered up. And they began to ask among themselves which of them it would be who was about to do this. And there also took a place of dispute among them as to which of them seemed to be greater. And he said to them, The sovereigns of the nations rule over them, and those who control them are workers of good. But not so with you. But let him who is greatest among you be as the youngest, and the leader as the one who serves. For who is greater, the one who sits at the table or one who serves? Is it not the one who sits at the table? But I am in your midst as the one who serves. but you are those who have remained with me in my trials. And I covenant for you, as my Father covenant for me, a reign, to eat and drink at my table in my reign, and to sit on the thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And the master said, Simon, Simon, see, Satan has asked for you to sift you as wheat. But I prayed for you, that your belief shall not fail. And when you have turned, strengthen your brothers. And he said to him, Master, I am prepared to go with you, both to prison and to death. And he said, I say to you, Peter, the cock shall not crow at all until you have denied me 3 times that you know me. And he said to them, when I sent you without purse and bag and sandals, did you lack any? And they said, none at all. And he said to them, but now let him who has a purse take it. Likewise also a bag. Let him who has no sword sell his garment and buy one. For I say to you that what has been written has yet to be accomplished in me. And he was reckoned with lawlessness. Joshua 53:12. For that which he refers to me has no end too. And they said, Master, look, here are 2 swords. But he said to them, that is enough. And coming out, he went to the Mount of Olives according to usage, and his taught ones also followed him. And coming to the place, he said to them, pray that you do not enter into trial. And he withdrew from them about a stone's throw, and falling on his knees, he was praying, saying, Father, if it be your counsel, remove this cup from me. Yet not my desire, but let yours be done. And there appeared to be a message from heaven to him, strengthening him. And being in agony, he was praying more earnestly. And his sweat became like great drops of blood falling down on the ground. And raising up from prayer and coming to his taught ones, he found them sleeping from grief. And he said to them, why do you sleep? Rise and pray, lest you enter into trial. And while he was still speaking, see, a crowd, and he who was called Judah, one of the 12, was going before them, and came near Yeshua to kiss him. And Yeshua said to him, Judah, do you deliver up the son of Adam with a kiss? And those around him, seeing that was about to take place, said to him, Master, shall we strike with the sword? And one of them struck the servant of the high priest and cut off his right ear. And Yeshua answering said, allow it this far. And touching his ear, he healed him. And Yeshua said to those who had come against him, the chief priests and captains of the set apart place, and the elders, have you come out as against a robber with swords and clubs? While I was with you daily in the set apart place, you did not lay hands on me. But this is your hour and the authority of darkness. And having seized him, they led him and brought him to the house of the high priest, and Kepha was following at a distance. Peter. And when they had lit a fire in the midst of the courtyard and sat down together, Kepha, Peter, sat among them. And a certain servant girl, seeing him as she sat by the fire, looked intently at him and said, And this one was with him. But he denied him, saying, Woman, I do not know him. And after a while, another saw him and said, You are one of them too. But Peter said, Man, I am not. And about an hour later, another instance, saying, Truly this one was with him too, for he is a Galilean too. And Peter said, Man, I do not know what you are saying. And he immediately, while they were still speaking, a cock crowed. And the master turned and looked at Peter. And Peter remembered the word of the master, how he said to him, Before a cock crows, you shall deny me 3 times. And Peter went out and wept bitterly. And the men who were holding Yeshua were mocking him, beating him, and having blindfolded him, they were striking him on the face, and were saying, and asking him, saying, Prophesy, who was it that struck you? And they said to him much more, blasphemy. And when it became day, the elders of the people, both priests and scribes, came together, and they led him into their council, saying, If you are the Messiah, say it to us. And he said to them, If I say to you, you would not believe at all. And if I asked you, you would not answer me at all. And now on the Son of Adam shall sit on the right hand of the power of Elohim. Psalms 110:11. And they all said, Are you then the Son of Elohim? And he said to them, You say that I am. And they said, Why do we need further witness? For we heard it ourselves from his mouth. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read the Bible and talk to the Father.